Hello, I'm Claire Louise Hay from BeHealing.com, and this is the energy update for all signs for the full moon in Cancer, which is on the 7th, Saturday the 7th of January 2022. I hope you're doing well. So this deck back here, put it the wrong way around, says that the full moon in Cancer is all about letting your fears dissolve. So let's see if the guides agree with that message. Now, I have a live show 3 times a week here on YouTube. It's called Psychic Cafe. Would love to see you in there. I give mini reads in there for donations. You can find the next show laying in wait on my YouTube channel by clicking Be Healing down there. If you're interested in a private reading with me, they're available from my website, behealing.com. You can find a link for that in the description box below and also up there too. I get them out within 48 hours if you're ordering them. And so if it says it's all sold out, it's just sold out for the day. Do check back a day or so later. So let's see what's in the energies for everybody. This full moon in Cancer, we've got the richness within. Nice. You've got something within you that is abundant, resourceful. We've got resources within you. You know, have you ever heard spiritual teachers or law of attraction teachers tell you that you've got the abundance within you, that everything that you need is within you and all that kind of stuff? What it's talking about is this. It's the resources. You've got a lot of wealth within you and it's your resources, right? And if we find a way to share those resources, the ideas, the skills and stuff with people, with people in the world, then we'll get abundance back for it. But if we manage to do it, if we manage to find a way to share it with even more people, you get even more abundance back. I mean, there's no trick to it, really. It just is that, you know, if you've got an idea that a lot of people will want and need, then and you've got a way of putting it out there, then you're going to get a lot of abundance back. Of course, you're providing a service to many people. So you might be tapping into some of that richness within today. We've got a balance here as well. You're feeling balanced today, or feeling the need to find a balance. Some people have abundance within them, but they never give themselves permission to find the ways to put it out in a big way. Often because of abundance issues, like they make it not okay for them to have abundance, not okay to do that. It's okay to share your gifts with the world. It's okay to share your gifts with the world in a big way. So I've got dance and guidance out today as well. Dance and guidance. The dance kind of reminded me of that balance card again, but you could be getting guidance. You could be getting clues. The universe could be kind of helping you how to put your stuff out there in a big way. I know at a certain point in my life, I was kind of closed off to abundance, but wanting to share my gifts with the world as well. And it took me a while to figure out that those two weren't compatible, that I had to open up to abundance. And it happened when I actually released my first book. And I said to my guides, because I meditate before work, and I have a little chat with my guides, a bit of direction from them. And I said to my guides, great, now the book's out, now I can help millions of people. And they laughed and said, not a chance, Claire, not a chance, because there's no way. That would mean you haven't receiving millions of dollars back. You can hardly even receive your rent and your bills back at the moment. You're not even letting that in. And I was like, oh, okay, time to work on abundance then. It could be time to work on abundance. Perhaps that's what your fears are that are dissolving this full moon. Letting go of things. Because full moons are always about letting go of stuff to me. Letting go of the blocks that you've got to abundance. And perhaps realizing that a dream that you've got is incompatible with a firm belief that you've got. We have the Six of Cups, something about looking back in the past here, reminiscing on the past. What else? We have the Empress here. Now the Empress, she builds her empire, right? The Empress knows what it is that she deserves, and she builds her empire. You could be making strides to build an empire today and making it okay for you to do that. Now, other people that have got abundance issues won't want you to do that. I had to actually move away. Once I started on that abundance journey, I moved away from where I was at because there was a lot of anti-abundance people around me. Just people that were struggling still with themselves, you know, and their worthiness and all of that. But when you are growing into that and then suddenly you've got a lot of people around you saying, you shouldn't want that. It's very difficult, right? It's very difficult when you've got people trying to pull you back to that anti-abundance thing or whatever it is that you're growing into. So building your empire, the Empress. The Empress is also about receiving too, allowing yourself to receive. The Ten of Pentacles, wow, building something that can be really, stick around a long time and be really good. What else? And the Ten of Swords, leaving behind the pain. You see, I was getting that leaving behind the pain. Some of you might be outgrowing your social network, I wanted to say. Your social network, interesting. Six of Cups. And I stayed for a while and I argued with them like, well, why wouldn't I want to help more people heal? Why wouldn't I want to help even more people heal? Yeah, well, that's all right, but you shouldn't want all of that money. It's like, why not? It goes with it. It goes hand in hand. Six of Cups, reminiscing on the past. Ooh, Two of Cups. Two of emotions here. We're talking about a love thing. Reminiscing on the past relationships, how they came in towards you, how you started relationships off. Not particularly about the love offers or the grand gestures or anything like that, but the energy that you were in when you started relationships off, where your mindset was at, particularly around receiving. I'm getting a big receiving kind of a vibe from today's energies. We have home and changes. So perhaps you've got someone on the way at the moment. There's going to be change in your home life, and you're reminiscing on past relationships, perhaps when you lived with people, with somebody, or the past people that you've lived with, the relationships got to that stage, and perhaps what you do differently now. It feels like there's something looming here, like you're getting ready for something. The Empress, you're building your empire and getting ready to receive. What's the Empress doing here? Six of Materials. The Six of Materials is the card of reciprocity. So it's when someone comes into your life that can give as much as you give. So it's got equality to it. It's like a true partnership. So the Empress is kind of waiting for her Emperor, someone who can reciprocate, someone that adds value. So I don't know about you guys, but thinking on these energies of past relationships for me personally, I've been in, there's been some abusive relationships, narcissists, stuff like that to learn from. But the other ones that weren't that bad, there was very little reciprocity, meaning I seem to not attract, because I know I attract all kinds, but I seem to get involved with those ones that didn't have a lot to give or were reluctant to give what they had. And I felt that I was just kind of expending a lot of energy in relationships and not getting a lot back, let's put it that way. A lack of reciprocation. One word that came to mind about my past relationships were passenger relationships, passenger men, some that will come along for the ride, and it's me having to lead the way and me having to earn the money and sort everything out and all of that kind of stuff. So if you've had similar experiences to that, well, you haven't really received that much, you might be getting ready to build an empire and be of this mindset, looking back in the past, going, I wouldn't choose that again. I will notice when that happens. I will notice a lack of reciprocity, or I'll notice when someone doesn't have it in themselves to give back and not choose that again. Duality. But there's something not black and white about this. There's something in the grey area there. And it could be the Empress is very nurturing as well. She's there pregnant with the world. And we've got these nurturing, loving, caring sides of us too, which we want to put out there, right? But you might need to pull that back. You might have put that out there a little bit too much. You need to pull that back at the start of relationships. Start of romantic relationships. It perhaps isn't the place for that loving, nurturing, for you to switch that on and be of that richness within. Yeah, that's what it could be today for some of you, is that the richness within, your loving and nurturing side, might have been misplaced at the start of romantic relationships. And if you're kind of switching it on at the start of romantic relationships to impress them because you don't feel worthy, well, that's not the Empress energy, right? If you feel worthy and you know you're worthy, then you wouldn't need to do that. You wouldn't need to kind of try and draw them in, try and impress them, when really it should be them impressing you. turned into a bit of a love reading. This, I didn't expect that. So the Ten of Pentacles, building something for the long term, something that can last, something that's reciprocal, something that can last. Ten of Pentacles tell us we've got the Death, so there needs to be major changes happening so that the Magician, so that you can manifest something new that was going to be stable. Muse of materials here, solid and stable. So something big needs to end, and that could be around this full moon is what you need to let go of. It's got something to do with abundance. It's got something to do with receiving. It's got something to do with reciprocity. It's got something to do with the past and what you did previously that didn't serve you. What's behind this? And that's the thing that needs to end. Now, the Death card is significant. That's saying if you keep on doing what you did, you're going to keep on getting what you got. You'll be given this window of opportunity now to see what it was that you were doing so you can change things about. Ancient wisdom is behind that. It's what your grandma told you. It's what your grandma told you in the first place, but you might have turned your back on that and said, no, I'd never be that calculating that in my mind about love. I just want to go in there with my heart wide open and love and nurture them. And you might be thinking about what your grandma told you and thinking, perhaps she was right, because my approach seems to have gotten the wrong ones, the ones that want the mama to love and nurture them. Ten of Swords, so painful ending, the end of the pain, could be. Ten of Swords. Yeah, Eight of Inspiration, and then a direction forward. So I think it's going to be an aha of how you got yourself into a particular perhaps relationship dynamic, lack of receiving, lack of reciprocity dynamic, and you might have an aha today of how to leave that pain behind, what it was that you're doing, and you're deciding, I'm not going to do that. In romantic relationships, do it with the children, do it with the family, for sure. Romantic relationships, no. We've got the Truth and Death. Yeah, there it is, the aha about what needs to end. Interesting. Cancer energy about loving and nurturing as well. So that's the key, right? Have you misplaced that energy? Just used it in the wrong situations. What about our love lives today? It does seem to be about our love lives, but I think it's more the reminiscing, the thinking on the big picture of our love lives, Wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. Wait, take your time as well, especially if you're coming up with these ahas, you don't want to do things the same way. I know for me, right now, at point of recording this video, I am talking to someone now, and we haven't met yet, but we will do soon. And he asked me for some help in something, for some information. I gave him some information, and old me would have gone, okay, well, I'll sort it out for you. I would have taken it further than that. I wouldn't have just given the information of where to look. I would have looked myself and I've tried to help him out and all of that loving and nurturing side. And I didn't do it this time. I didn't do it this time because it's totally his responsibility and I don't want to interfere in his life. And he makes his own decisions and he can find his own thing. And all he needed was just that clue from me because I had some information for him. And I was really proud of myself when I realised, good job, you didn't storm on in there and do it. Because old me totally would have done that. Old me, codependent me, would have gone, I'll sort it out for you, don't worry. And that would have come across as very controlling to him. And so there might be things like that you're realising and it gives you a new plan of action. Honour your feelings. And unleash your kindest self. Right, the unleashing of your kindest self, that one that wants to love and nurture, it's got something to do with that. And honouring your feelings about our feelings. As much as we love to love, we love to be loved too. There's got to be that balance there, right? Balance, the dance between the two. Okay. You've got lots of richness within, but so has someone else too. And you need to make sure that you get a balance. And that there's this dance back and forth in relationships. Yes. Okay. What else? What else in our love lives today? Yes. Strings. The strings attached. There's complications in relationships today. Perhaps a need to take it slowly. There's chemistry there. Perhaps chemistry is building and passion. Building towards some kind of a passionate thing. And so you could be in a build-up to a relationship at the moment where there's complications in the way, which is a good thing because it's causing you to take it slowly so you can figure these things out, figure kind of what what you did wrong. I don't really want to say what you did wrong, just what wasn't appropriate energy or appropriate, what wasn't your place in those relationships, or what energy wasn't appropriate at the start of those relationships, especially at the start, you know. So, being open, yes, being open to ahas, open to relationships, open to learning more about yourself, open to sharing love, especially open to receiving love as well. Some of you have got really good at giving love, perhaps a little bit too much, so it comes across as controlling and stuff like that, or intrusive, you know, codependency. If you're around a codependent person, it feels like intrusiveness when they try and do too much for you. So some of you need to get on that, I want to be loved more. How can I let more love in? Yeah, responsiveness. Yeah, so in our love lives today, we could have somebody coming in who is responsive, but you could be taking it very carefully because you've never had enough before, right? And it's time to receive this time. So you don't want to continue that whole pattern and that whole story of you never receiving enough, but instead realize what it was that you were doing that was holding that away from you. What else is in the energies today? What else in the energies today? We have success. Awesome. So you're headed towards success now. We have clouds, temporary problems in the way. And like I was getting there, strings attached, temporary problems. It's just holding off this, what's coming in, for you to be truly ready for it. For you to have figured out those things that you were doing. Cup. You should accept valid criticism. Perhaps other people could be telling you about what it is that you're doing. Carrying a journey, either physical or mental. I feel like it's a mental journey today, but there could also be a physical journey involved as well. Okay, so think of a yes or no answer question, because I've got a red and a green crystal in this bag. I'm going to pull one of them out very shortly for your answer. But this is just a bit of fun, because this is a general reading, not a personal reading. If you want me to pull one of these crystals out for a specific question that you've got, come along to my Psychic Cafe show sometime. I'd love to see you in there. And I can use them in private readings as well. Book yourself in. There's a link in the description box below, and also one up there too. After you've booked in, click on the Contact Us page, put your questions in there. You don't have to have questions for a reading though. How best to deal with these energies today? Ace of Cups is about falling in love, right? Falling in love. Some of you are on this path. Perhaps you've been wishing for this for a while, of falling in love and feeling great and letting that love in. And it feels to me like around this full moon, you're getting the clues as to how you are holding a very good, balanced relationship away from you with particular imbalances that you've got. So pay close attention about falling in love and how you are when you're falling in love, what your patterns are. Interesting. So think of a yes or no answer question now. Pause the video if you're not ready for your answer. Your answer is? Can't get it out. It's no, it's the ruby. There we go. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like on this video down there, leave a comment and click on that subscribe button with that notification bell to hear more from me. I make one of these energy updates every single day of the year, not just full moons and new moons, but I include those of course, and I go live 3 times a week in my Psychic Cafe show as well. I'd love to see you in there. You can find the next show laying in wait on my YouTube channel by clicking Be Healing down there. And I make 3 Love Pick a Card reads a week as well. You can find one of those right there, right now, which you can watch now if you so wish. Well, have the best day ever, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.